engineers and the A&R and the label they've surrounded themselves with are 100% firing on all cylinders, where they can hear the song and know instantly, this is it. This is a 10 out of 10, absolute grade A banger for U2. This is going to be
bands don't pick their singles really. Anyway, I don't think
they probably do. But
they would. Yeah, but I'm saying, they're on the same wavelength as the producers now at this stage.
So, in order for a new song to launch a greatest hits or whatever it was,
and then becomes a mainstay.
It's an absolute anthem. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's a fucking.
A lot of people have done that. A lot of people have released a big song. I can't straight up think of any off the top of my head.
Probably a podcast.
That's a podcast.
Itself,
songs that launched their greatest hits and became on the greatest
a bonus
hits.
track on a
no, not a bonus. Like up there with them.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely up there with them.
When you think about it as well, like that song is.
I think Aerosmith did it before with big ones. I think they were released
that fucking Asteroid song, or whatever it's called.
No, that was after that. I don't
know, fucking. There was Aerosmith, Run DMC, Aerosmith, and then Nothing, and then Bruce Willis, Aerosmith.
Oh, they had the grunge period.
I know Kiss had a grunge period.
No, they had Crying, Amazing, Blind Man, Living on the Edge. Janie's Got a Gun.
In an elevator, I suppose.
Well, that's still their glam. Man, we should do it. We should have another podcast. Has to be the grunge phase of bands, because Blur Song 2 is from grunge. Loads, I do think it's a trail off from grunge. I think Motley Crue did a couple of grungy bits.
All of Kiss Revenge is a grunge album. All of it, everything. Even that's the first album done with no makeup, and they're wearing like leather jackets and flannel shorts.
Grunge was so big that everyone had to just do it.
Done a version of it.
Did it? Yeah. And I think that Aerosmith have a good few grungy songs. Living on the Edge is a very grungy.
Do you reckon Soundgarden are a grunge band that aren't grunge at all?
I think most grunge bands are not grunge bands.
Yeah, me too.
What is I can make an excuse for everyone except Nirvana.
Yeah,
because they are so.
That's
because that's what it came from.
That's it.
You can't call them but they're also punk, and they're also they can be very punk, but they're also bluesy as well. But Nirvana are grunge. You can make an exception for everyone else not being. Stone Temple Pilots get lumped in and out. They're definitely not grunge.
Yeah, maybe
they're hard rock, bluesy rock. Alice in Chains are bluesy metal. And blues rock.
Is that all it is? Then it's just hard rock with loads of blues thrown on top of it. Is that all?
That's a big part of it, but it's not the genre. It was the place and time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of the only.
It's also the look.
Yeah, it was a look, but that's a music label that doesn't represent the music at all. Yeah. It's just a lot of them do. Soundgarden are very bluesy, and a lot of times they wouldn't go that heavy. They're also I'm not a massive fan of Soundgarden.
Yeah,
they're grand. People are always surprised to hear that I'm not a massive Soundgarden fan.
I remember, was it Down on the Upside? Is that what it is? I can't forget.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
I remember that being the thing, and then all of a sudden it was
Super Unknown.
Yeah, Super Unknown.
That Motorfinger was before all them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're good. They're good albums. What I'm saying, I wouldn't keep.
I think that Super Unknown is perfect.
That is great. Now,
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
I only re-listened to it again for the first time since it came out about a month ago. I just randomly got talking to somebody about Soundgarden, and I said, fucking it. Again, same thing, banged it on Spotify on the bus, and from the second it starts with like My Wave and all that kind of shit, and I was like, holy fuck. And it was one of those albums where even though it'd been 20 years, I remembered every lyric.
Yeah.
Every lyric and every change.
I love that.
Yeah.
When your brain starts dusting off it, dusting shit
That's
off.
What it was like. It was
it's
like
very, very
shelf.
healthy.
Yeah,
and it makes you feel great when you're, especially if you forgot it. If you know you're going to know it, it's grand. But if you think you forgot and just things are getting dusted off, it's like a room getting dusted off. Things are getting pulled off tables. You're like, holy shit! My brain is just working overtime to remember this as it happens.
Now after that album, I don't know what happened. I don't remember. I couldn't tell you a song they put out after Super Unknown. I couldn't tell you. I was out.
Yeah, they probably did.
I couldn't tell you. They absolutely did. They put one out before he croaked, and I couldn't tell you if it was good or bad.
I think they put two out before he died. Yeah, I don't. Like I said,
I think they have some killers, but
they do. That album is great. Yeah, listen, it's just one of those bands where I can't listen to them. I couldn't do a full album of Soundgarden, I don't think, genuinely, apart from Super Unknown.
Yeah, but that's the pinnacle, really, isn't it? That's the fucking the Nevermind of it, or the 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
All those bands from that era have one album that defines them. They might have better songs on later albums.
Of course.
They have an album that's
of course.
Killer.
And there's a lot of times you can make a better album with the other songs, but you'd have to put them all together from different albums. It won't be that
It's
album.
like Incesticide. I think Incesticide in Utero are my favourite Nirvana albums, and Incesticide I like a lot because it's just a mumble jumble of bullshit that they found, you know. I like a lot. Anyway, what's your last one?
I couldn't really think of a last one because it was so hard, but I think I'm going to go with Richard III by Supergrass.
Very Song 2-ish.
It is. It reminds me of Song 2 a lot. The riff... You see, this is the problem. I've kind of fucked up by not knowing a lot of Soundgarden. Yeah. I think that they used to be a punk band. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
So do they have...
I think they might be a glam band.
Do they have... Like, so I'm thinking All Right and Can You Hear Us Pumping on Your Stereo? All them big anthems.
I think what happens...
Even Cop of the Fuzz is good, but that's still very happy.
Cop of the Fuzz is a punk band. It's a punk band song.
It's a whole band. The whole song is a punk
band. I think All Right... We Are Young, We Are Free. I think that's their worst song. That's their most popular.
Yeah.
I think
maybe that doesn't represent them.
That definitely doesn't represent
them. So maybe that was a better choice.
That's absolutely way off there. Even by Oisha Coco standards, by the album standards. I love Supergrass. I fucking love the first two records in particular. I'm obsessed with them.
You see, I'm glad you're catching me on this before we get people going, what are you talking about?
Richard III is very much a departure. They have a lot of songs on both of those albums that are
like, to me that sounds like fucking, I don't know, Cooper Temple Clause or something like it's very
it sounds like The Bartender and the Thief by Stereophonics, right?
That's another one of them.
It's got that like same thing, like,
except that gets quite happy in the middle
to a degree. Yeah.
But it is but it's
aggressive. A big solid rock Marshall fucking stacked riff is what it is, right? Played on a Les Paul. It's just a little right. It's just a little stomper of a song. Again,
I think vocally he's different on it. He's much more. But he's not using his range. Doesn't have to.
No, he just roars.
But that's what I'm saying, and I really like that about it.
Apparently, that album's called "In It for the Money." That song is on, and the reason it's called that, this is really cool. The reason it's called that is because they couldn't decide on a name for that album, and it was going on for months and months and months. The album was recorded, everything was ready to go, but they couldn't come up with a name. They could not decide on a name for the album, and the manager said, I'll give you 10 grand if you give me a name for that today. And they said, fucking In It for the Money then, and they took the 10 grand off the manager, and that's what they called the album.
Bingo.
Yeah. Fact of the day.
And it's ironic because they definitely weren't in it for the money.
They absolutely weren't. But like when the sun hits the sky and all, they had that real. They were like the Monkees too. That's, to me, what Supergrass.
Maybe that's probably why this wasn't like, listen, man, I was under pressure with this last request. I was only thinking about it up until we started the podcast. I'm not going to lie, I should have thought more about it. We're supposed to be researching to do this podcast.
Not, I believe you may have stumbled upon the best talking point in the entire podcast with that song, because that band, well, they might have been lumped into like alt rock or alt pop or whatever the fucking genre was at the time, had massive diversity across all their records. Massive diversity. And it would have been incredible. They were only shoehorned into a
pigeon-holed.
Pigeon-shoed.
Shoe pigeon.
Exactly. Into these little kind of genre holes by their singles.
Yeah.
But when you look back at all their singles, none of their singles line up. They have a blurrish tint to them in that degree. Like, you can look at someone like the Manic Street Preachers, who have this continuous kind of style. You know, they get bigger and more poppy and more operatic essentially as they go on, because there's more money thrown into them and they get to spend more time writing the songs and putting the effort into the production. But I always got the feeling off Supergrass that your man Gaz Combs just showed up in rehearsals every 3 or 4 weeks and he had 4 or 5 songs written.
Random.
Just
could be happy.
He was sitting at home listening to fucking Minnie Riperton, and he was sitting at home listening to fucking whatever he could come up with, and he come in and have the song, and it's fucking...
See, I always put off with him because I didn't like All Right.
All Right is fucking shocking. Like, it's huge.
The only way I liked them was when I got a see. Remember Shine? Those indie compilations. It was one of them, or else it was free, and I had a Cop of the Fuzz on it. I was like,
Cop of the Fuzz is a super song.
It's really, really good. I didn't realise, and then obviously they started to get better.
But even that first album, there's moments of brilliance on that album.
Well, I didn't listen to it because of All Right.
Really?
So
there's like Man-Sized Rooster and Sofa of My Lethargy, and there's some songs on that album they're classics. Like again, it sounds like you took a band from like 1969 and gave them like equipment from the 90s and a producer and a digital recording studio You know, and they weren't stuck to listen to whatever was playing in the jukebox in the local cafe.
Yeah.
They could buy tapes and they could buy albums, and they had a wide range of music stuff to pull from. I have a lot of time for Supergrass. I think at the end they got a bit ropey, and
I think I listened to Super Furry Animals instead.
I never liked Super Furry Animals that much. I like the big giant single they have, whatever it's called.
Fuck me. What's the name of that?
I can't remember. It's basically like a softer version of fucking Black Grape. That's the way I always looked at Super Furry Animals. A Welsh version of them boys. They were still doing yokes and loads of coke, but they just had guitars instead of fucking 17 members with bongos and shakers. That's all. Like Black Grape to me are an abomination.
I hate that band.
An abomination. The Happy Mondays should die in a fire and smoking Black Grape.
Do you know what would make? And I hate all of the music. I hate all of the music that Black Grape make, but it's made 100 times worse by him singing over that. He can sing over other stuff, it's fine, but him singing over that is the worst mix.
So joyful and triumphant.
Do you know what? Imagine that was some really soulful singing over that. You'd forget about it. It would go about. It'd be fine.
It's
like,
just,
can you imagine like that song?
Manchester reggae.
But
and it's not even reggae.
Black Grape, I don't like them at all.
Good. It's not good.
I tried desperately to like Black Grape.
Can't do it.
But sorry. I didn't really like Happy Mondays, so it was, and I don't like reggae.
No.
I don't really like.
I don't even
happy
like
shit.
I don't even like the Stone Roses. I
love the Stone Roses.
I can't do it.
I loved them.
We talked about this last week. I'm not going to do it again.
Listen, that's all I have anyway, and I can tell I was getting thin on
that happens.
Thin air.
That's fine. The next one is a killer. We're not going to tell them what our next one is, but the next one is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And everybody can sing along at home. That's the beauty of the next one.
I think you might know them all right.
Yeah, I think you'll know them. Anyway, we'll knock this one on the head, and we shall be back soon with the next episode. That's episode 2 in the ball bag. And
in the pigeon shoe.
In the pigeon shoe. Good night.